Welcome back to Obscurus Gaming, and today I'm reviewing Bish Bash Bots, released a couple of months ago to all major platforms, and I'll be playing the Switch version of the game. I know it's kind of a weird sounding name, but Bish Bash Bots is a co-op tower defense and action game for up to 4 players both locally and online. You and your team will attempt to defend your base from an onslaught of robots, and if successful, you'll be able to advance to the next level. It very much reminds me a lot of those old Flash Balloons games from back in the day, as that's the last tower defense game that I've played, but now you are also part of the action. It's kind of a cool hybrid concept that I've personally never seen before, but does it work as advertised? Let's find out. When Bish Bash Bots opens up, you are introduced to your team of 4 characters and the game's very light story. Essentially, your team is responsible for these EMP devices that are placed on every level, but robots which normally work together with humans have gone rogue and are out to destroy your tech. Honestly, the story is not important, just know that you have 4 different characters to choose from, and each has a unique skill that makes them different, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Each level essentially has a set amount of damage your base can take from the attacking robots, which leads to an instant fail. If you manage to survive the waves of robots, you'll complete and advance to the next level. Every level also has additional challenges for you to complete, which adds to the game's replay value. So many of these local co-op games fall into that overcooked trap of getting 1, 2, or 3 stars, so it's nice to see a slight variation on that here. Like I mentioned at the start, the game's uniqueness comes in its hybrid gameplay. Yes, this is a tower defense game at heart, so you'll be placing towers that attack robots on their own. Getting a good mix of turrets, cannons, anti-air towers, and other unlocked towers as the game goes along is essential to your success, as well as placing them in strategic locations on the map. But instead of just sitting back and watching your towers do all the work, you can attack robots yourself, which is equally essential to your success. Each robot you kill will drop gears, which is in-game live currencies to build more towers on the fly. Trying to juggle your time between building and upgrading towers or attacking robots directly will be critical to your success, as well as doing other things on every level as they come up. You are also armed with a handful of gadgets to assist your cause, like mines or a shock hammer to name a couple. I should also mention that there is a ton of level variation to keep you guessing. For example, early on there is a construction level where you get to control a crane that essentially picks up and drops larger robots. Or a little later on, there's an underwater level that gives you a jetpack boosting ability. There's essentially 4 levels on every biome, and all of these do many different things. At first I was taken aback by how these levels change up the gameplay, mostly because I wanted the game to slowly ramp up its difficulty, but the level design keeps things interesting, making each level feel very different from one to the next. Honestly, this aspect elevates the game beyond my original expectations. The game's charm also comes with the couch co-op aspect, but I think an experienced player will do okay in single player from what I tested on my own. That being said, this is meant to be a local co-op game at heart and shines best as a couch co-op experience, as the game is clearly best balanced at a 2-player count where it's challenging but not overly punishing. In terms of replay value, there are over 30 levels with plenty of little random customizations to unlock. I think you'll easily get roughly 15 hours of playtime here if you're just trying to beat the levels and are decent at tower defense games, but if you're like us, it will take you significantly longer than that. especially if you're trying to get a perfect score, something that we are still trying to do on over half the levels. I will say I wish there was something else to do in the game besides just replay the main levels, but as a budget-friendly title, it's not that big of a deal. In the end, Bish Bash Bots is a surprisingly good local co-op game for all ages that hasn't gotten much attention at all. Tower defense games in general typically all start out super addictive, before plateauing at a certain point and becoming repetitive. Bish Bash Bots mostly avoids this for two reasons. One, making your character a part of the action, and two, by really switching up the gameplay formula on almost every level. The game stays fresh throughout the entire experience, so if you're looking for a budget-friendly couch co-op game to try with someone else, especially on the Switch, then Bish Bash Bots is an easy recommendation from me.